Hello and welcome to the Tarkus Zone. Thank you for joining me. Today we're just going to be looking at my outposts, the general numbers, and what we got for raiders and deaths over the last 24 hours. I just barely prestiged the Coliseum. I just did a video on that, just prestiged it. We got it to prestige level 8. Just in the last 10 minutes that it's been in operation, it's got 13 kills in it. It had 2 raiders in it already out of 13 kills, and it's staying at a 7.8. I didn't get any accolades yet. They might be still in it. I don't know. I mean, I haven't refreshed the screen. So we've got 13 there. We've got Bayport. Bayport's always a nice little gem. It's a 9,000 Genmat base, so it means it's up for the full 24 hours. And that got 4 attempts, 51 deaths in it in the 4 attempts. Keeping it at 11.9. I got 2 brutals and 1 ingenious for that. Then we've got the arena, 49 deaths, 4 attempts, negative 0.1. I got 1 brutal and 2 fun out of that. The arena is always a good one. And then I've got the hurricane here, and the hurricane got 3 attempts and 10 deaths in it, and I got no accolades for it at all. So I don't know what's going on with that. We can look at the big board. And then last night I decided I was going to use the Q-Bert base again. And it's called Burnside. It only got 9 deaths in it. It had 5 attempts, 9 deaths, bringing the death ratio down 1. And it's supposed to be a fun kind of base. I got 1 fun, 2 ingenious, and 1 artistics for it. What I'm hoping to do with the Q-Bert base is to remake it in a 9,000 Genmat burial ground. Because the reason why I don't add it to the rotation all that often is because it's only at 6,750, meaning I think I get about 18 hours out of it. And for only getting 18 hours, it's just not worth it to me. So I want to recreate it. Now let's just quickly walk into that base so that you can see it's just one big room. It's one big kill box room that is kind of, what I've done is try to make it look like the old Q-Bert game back in what it was, late 90s, early 2000, kind of giving that feel to it. See, you can see it. And you go up these ramps. If you ever played the game, it was I think it was an old Nintendo game. And whoop, I fell in a hole. I fell in the hole. I always like those little hole traps in the floor. People can fall into them. And in here, you can fall in and you can, you get lost down here because I put the whole floor as basically a lava pit. I mean, that's the best way I could say that, is the floor is this big lava pit. But I used a lot of those cubes here, as you can see, corrosive cubes. They're everywhere. But it's just one big room. Then you go to the top, just like the Q-Bert game, to the top, where it's just, I've got flame, incinerator, spam. I got all sorts of stuff happening up here. What's also nice is once you get up here, you're kind of out of line of sight for the things, the baddies that are down here. So if you can contend with the traps that are up here on this ledge, you're probably not going to have to deal with a lot of crossfire, because the blocks, these blocks here in front of me, are protecting you from line of sight. So once you get up here, then you should be okay. It's just making your way back down, and it's a very short way. I mean, this whole map was designed as get in and get out. It's really, really quick. But I want to reconstruct this entire base in a 9,000 Genmat burial ground. I think I can make it a little bigger. I could probably go up 1 more tier and it'll look pretty good. So I'm just gonna exit. Actually, why don't I prestige it? Let's just put it back in the rotation. Even though I'm not gonna get 24 hours out of it, I'm just gonna reactivate it while we're here and get back to the main screen. I mean, I've noticed that the raids attempts later in the week, I think Thursdays and Fridays seem to be the best days to get the most raiders, the most bang for your buck, because I've been watching this a long time. As you can see, Q-Bert's now activated. The Coliseum is just newly activated. And then I have to wait for these other 3 bases to actually completely deplete themselves before you can refresh them. When you go to prestige from a level, like from level 1 to 2, it allows you to prestige it early if you want. Anytime below master, the game allows you to prestige it early. Unfortunately, when you're in the master category, the game will not allow you to refill the base until it's completely depleted. So I can't really go in here and just refill these right now. I have to wait for them to be completed. This is the Panama City. This is the one that was called the hallway that we had made. We had done a whole video on that, the build, and we did a few prestige levels. That ended up being a 6.6 kill ratio. And I got 14 funds, 22 brutals, 12 ingenious, and 7 artistics. And that one was a very fun base. But what I'm hoping to do moving forward is once the Coliseum hits master, then I'm going to try to bump another brand new outpost in its slot. And then I'll add it to the rotation as we go. So a Coliseum will see its day again as I add more and more bases to my rotation. It's just that right now I want to make newer bases and do prestige videos on those newer bases and see what our best numbers can be for kill ratios as I do that. Now, as for the arena, that's always going to be in the good rotation. That's a 16 kill ratio. So, I mean, that's always good to keep in the rotation. The bird cage is another one. I have all sorts of, I got a lot of farm bases that I had created to give tokens away. I might actually just delete those because they fixed the Vector 0 thing where they all, if it self-destructs, all the loot goes to the 0. They fixed that. Now the loot stays. And a lot of these give bases, the platforms were so high and it all happened outside of the ability that the person could get there, because before they would just, all the loot was dropping in one spot down by where they were. That's not happening now. They fixed that. I do have this run loot base here, Kimswick, I guess it's called, that I still use all the time. I put that in my rotation. The bird cage here, the bird cage kill ratio is at 11, and then the hornet's nest is at 13.3. So I'm trying to just put bases in my rotation that are fun, and I'm trying to make newer bases for, you know, the sake of seeing what else can work, and the fun of doing that, you know, the fun of making something new and then seeing how well it does against the raiders. So that's really it. I just wanted to do a quick little video here on what I am currently up to now, and hopefully within the next hour I'll get these other ones back up, refilled. I might actually take Bayport out. Actually, I think I'm going to take the Hurricane out of rotation, and I'm going to probably slide in. I'm probably going to slide in the Hornet's Nest. Hornet's Nest are a really fun map. I got 44 funds on it, 69 brutals. So it's a really fun map, I think, and I think people enjoy it. All right, well, thank you for joining me, and this has been the Tarkus Zone.